All right, welcome to Head Kick Audio. I got Cadillac Simpson over here, a champ in multiple organizations. He's got a fight coming up over at Fury 47, where you're going to be defending your title. 10-5 overall, training and fighting out of Denver, Colorado, over at Elevation Fight Team. How far out is the event from now?
A little under 3 weeks, little under 3 weeks away.
Okay, and everybody's training camp is a little bit different these days, especially with, we're kind of getting back to normal with COVID, but where are you at in the training camp? Are we still doing hard sparring, or where are we at?
Yeah, I just actually came from sparring today.
You can see it. You're
yeah.
sweating. You still got the glisten from the gym.
Yeah, so, we just finished up. We spar twice a week. Tuesdays, big and small glove sparring, and then Fridays are small glove sparring only.
Okay, and when do you start to taper that down? Is it just the week before?
The week before that'll be it, and then be ready to go.
Okay, and as far as the weight management, where are you at in your cut? You don't have to get specific. I understand that, but are you all carved out? Are we water loading? How we doing?
I'm normal right now. Still. I mean, I drink a lot of water as it is, so that making sure I'm still getting my good carbs, lots of good fats, high protein, all that other good stuff in there. Kind of like switch up my diet. Like 1 week I'll have land-based animals in there, and then there's another week where I don't do it. Kind of helps trick the metabolism and keeps me going. It helps the weight, helps me with my weight. So I've been doing that for a couple camps, and I've really been enjoying that.
Okay, and let's talk about, how did you get into fighting? I like to hear the backstory, if you don't mind.
I walked into a gym one day out of high school. I was actually trying to get into the military, and so I had to make like a weight requirement. When I graduated high school, I was a 240-pound senior. And I got turned away. I couldn't get a waiver for an assault charge I had gotten when I was 14. And the gym owner had offered, he was like, hey, you've been in here, you've been training with the fighters, you've been scrapping, why don't you just try a year fighting and see how you like that? So that's what I did. And then I won my first amateur fight by knockout, and then, I just stuck with it ever since.
Yeah, I think once you knock somebody out, you're hooked.
Yeah. That's a drug you'll always chase. It's the best drug you can have right there is a knockout.
All right, now you've like I said, you've got sorry, I got allergies going on here. Multiple titles. You got 2 organizational titles currently. Are you looking to just stay at 55 and collect belts in that division, or are you open to opportunities, up or down?
Definitely not down. Definitely not down. Shoot, man, I had fought 170 for a few pro fights, and I blew through the first 3 guys like it wasn't nothing. And then I fought a real 70er, and I got ragdolled. And then I also look at the 70ers that we have in our room, and I'm content with staying at 55.
Okay, so pretty committed at the weight class, doing well at the weight class. And I was looking over your resume. You got some solid opposition, guys like Harvey Park and Justin Lawrence. And then, of course, the continued success over at Fury. You've had success over at LFA. Again, the titles, I can't stop talking about them because that's like currency in this world. What do you think is next for you after you get the W on Fury 47?
I haven't really looked that far in the future. I've really been practicing on staying in the present. Juan Gonzalez is the next person that I have to fight. So that's where my mindset at right now. That and going forward and winning every 10 seconds of that fight. And the performance will speak for itself. What goes on after that will be out of my control. But I'm mainly focused on, well, not mainly, I am focused on June 20th. Yeah, I had to think there for a second.
No worries, no worries. Now, you said something pretty interesting there. You said you plan on winning every 10 seconds. What does that mean?
Not getting too ahead of myself, and that was something that I focused on during the last fight. I'm not worried about the result. I'm worried about the performance. If I perform the way that I need to perform and I perform the way that I should perform every 10 seconds, the result will take care of itself. But if I get hung up on chasing another knockout, if I get hung up on, oh, well, I want to win, it clouds your judgment and it doesn't allow you that freedom to be in the moment. It doesn't allow the instincts to kick in because you're worried about the future, and the future's a figment of the imagination. But if I can focus on every 10 seconds, then that's being present.
Okay, and do you think that has helped you and it's continuing to develop you as you progress in your career? Do you think that's going to be something you continue to do?
Very much so. I was always one of those guys with the destination fixation where I got to do this. I do this. I win this. I'm going to get here. I win this. And my performance has sucked. Sometimes like the Harvey Park fight, like, I don't even know what that one was. That was just more or less like a bad dream. And then, like you always hear those guys where, oh, if I win this one, this is going to be the one that gets me into here. This is the one that opens the door. And it doesn't allow you that freedom to be in the moment. So me focusing on just 10 seconds at a time is what allows me to be able to be in the moment.
Okay. Is this something that you developed on your own, or is it a method you learned from another fighter, a coach? Where did this come from?
I mean, I have a lot of great training partners and coaches to pick from that elevation, like I've learned, like I'd be lying if I said that I haven't learned anything from picking Corey Sandhagen's brain. I'd be lying if I say I've never learned anything from picking Justin Gaethje's brain. I had also did some work with Joey Fritz. He was the guy he's a mental coach that had helped Corey Sandhagen. And then just talking to my coaches as well too, and Vinny Lopez, Cody Donovan, and all those other great coaches that we have in the room. Just not getting fixed on the destination has really been allowing me to perform the way that I need to perform.
Okay. I mean, it makes a lot of sense, and it's very like a high level way of thinking. So, not saying you're not high level, but hearing where that came from, it sounds like it was kind of like a developmental thing of you just kind of learning from everybody and making it work for you.
Yeah, I had to pick some brains, and I also had to work on myself. Like I ended up working with a hypnotist myself to help me realize things about myself and my past, to just better myself as a fighter and as a person. And yeah.
I mean, that's some pretty interesting stuff. You're getting like into the mental. That's for me, that would be scary. I don't even want to know anything about my mental. You know what I mean? So for me, like, you could stay out of there. But for a fighter, I could see how that would make sense. Just kind of unlocking things that, could, lead to a better performance, could lead to, a better fight that's going to get you to that next level. A lot of people don't understand that, yes, there are some fights that can get you the call, but a lot of the times it's just a fight, it's just your next fight. And being too hung up on that, what if, like you were talking about, yeah, I could see how that could definitely hinder your performance, your career overall. So I like the approach, man. Very systematic.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, it's like I said, it was that, and like a lot of people. I feel like a lot of people didn't take advantage of the time that we had in 2020 with the lockdowns, and actually, what it was me and my wife. I would be able to go to the gym for an hour, maybe 2 hours, if that. But you're at home all day, so what do you have to do? You can work on yourself. There's a lot of like sleepless nights, and I really had to like dive in deep. I had to face the man in the mirror, and I had to face like my demons, my fears, and my insecurities, and I just really had to like dive deep into myself last year. So I can say that I came out on the better side of the lockdowns. I didn't let it go to waste. I focused on the main hindrance in my career, which was myself. It wasn't this guy, it wasn't that guy, it wasn't this outside source, it wasn't anything in my environment. It was everything that was in here that was hindering performances. So I had to really just dive in deep and look into all of that last year, because I had nothing but time but to just look at that and dive into it and just figure out like, hey, like, number one, not lie to myself anymore. I had to like, like, you just have to be honest with yourself. Like, fighting's scary, and it's okay to be scared. And I thought something was wrong with me. I've been fighting since the age of 20, and I thought something was wrong with me. Still being scared about fighting. But I was more or less confusing that fear with like insecurities from like my past. So, like I said, like I really had to like dive into a lot of that, and I really had to face who I really was and chew it bit by bit, piece by piece. Doing some reading last year, and I learned a lot.
Yeah, I mean, not letting the year go to waste. Kudos to you, because a lot of people, they let it go to waste and to their waste. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So a lot of people didn't take advantage of the time that they had away from whatever it may have been. A lot of people lost their jobs, myself included. I was able to recruit real quick, super quick. So I was okay. But my wife was out of work for a very long time. And, so we were able to, survive, but, for her, it was, she was focused on school, so she still had something. So a lot of people didn't have anything and didn't take advantage of the time. So kudos to you for working on yourself, because, as a fighter, you got to be like mind and body. It can't just be all body. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Muscles can only get you so far.
Exactly.
All right. So, what are some things you like to do outside of fighting?
Shoot, man, I've really gotten pretty heavy into like guns. Like, shoot, shooting's been really fun. That's been like a really fun outlet. Um, just spending time with like some of the guys on the team. Sometimes we'll meet out in the park. We'll play like spike ball. Hanging out with my wife. I could pretty much just do anything with my wife and have a great time, because my wife's my best friend. Um, so,
Oh man, that's dope.
like, even if there's no more than me and her just going out, like, like what? Like last year I would go train, and it'd be like a nice day, and we'd go out and we'd have a picnic, and we'd just sit in the middle of this big old soccer complex because it was locked down. So we just sit out there with the dog and like fly kites and stuff like that. So like I got to do like a lot of like things, like I got to be a kid again for a while. But pretty much I can just do almost anything with my wife and like have like a great time doing it.
That's dope. That's dope. Finding a partner that you can be that way with, I think is super important. Like my wife, she's not afraid of hard work. She's not afraid of getting dirty. She's not afraid of, doing all the dumb shit I like to do. Like she's pretty involved in, pretty much everything I do. So I can definitely understand, your relationship, the way that you explained it to me. It's awesome to have for sure.
Yeah, it is. It's a blessing. It's a blessing, yeah, she's a blessing. I've been with her going on 8 years, but we just got married last month.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Like we literally got married a couple weeks after me winning the title, and yeah, she's a phenomenal person. Like I said, it's never a dull moment. Even if it seems like a dull moment to the rest of the world, we can always find the light in even the dull moments, and we'll always get a laugh out of something. So I really appreciate her. Like I appreciate her being with me, watching me grow up, watched her grow up. But I appreciate her seeing something in me that I didn't see in myself for a long time. And yeah, my wife's the shit, man.
Hell yeah, that's awesome, man. That's fucking awesome. A lot of people don't get to experience that. I think that you've found something very special because fighting is a very selfish sport, right? And it seems like you guys are able to coexist in this selfish gray area that is fighting, right? Because
Right.
family doesn't always agree, friends don't always agree, but having a spouse that understands, what it takes to get to where you are supposed to be, that's the shit, man. That's awesome.
Appreciate that. Yeah.
So, and I wish she was sitting right there so she could hear everything you just said, because she'd be smiling from ear to ear. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm sure she knows how you feel. You're not just telling this to me. You probably tell her every day, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I tell her every day how much I appreciate her. She knows it.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So, what does the opponent do well that we got to watch out for over at Fury 47?
He creates chaos, man. He creates chaos. Like that's he's got a gas tank and he creates chaos. So the thing about it is me having a cool, calm, level head in the chaos, and yeah, just not getting lost in the sauce in this chaos.
Man, look at you. You're a fucking poet.
You know.
All right, so I mean, he's got to understand that you train with some absolute fucking savages. You just mentioned Corey Sanhagen and Justin Gaethje. It don't get any more insane than that.
I mean, I don't know, man. Like you got like guys like Neil Magny too. Like that's just a nonstop. That's a nonstop gas tank right there. Like I think that's the last partner you want to see in the third, fourth, or the fifth round because he's only just getting started. But we've got a room full of killers. Guys that are in the UFC. We've got guys that are out of the UFC that are killers. It's a hell of a room to have been a part of for the past 5 years. And yeah, like I said, I just gotta win every 10 seconds, not get lost in the sauce and the chaos, man.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. So I wanted to talk to you about the team, right? So originally from Killeen, Texas, and you moved to Denver, Colorado. Was it to train over at Elevation?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why that gym and why the? I mean, it's not a huge move. It's only what, a state over?
No, you got New Mexico between. You got, I mean, yeah, I guess it is a state. It's a 13-hour drive. Texas is a big ass state.
You can drive through Texas all day and still be in Texas.
Yeah, a lot of people don't understand that shit. A lot of people don't understand it. But yeah, like, and then I also have family from my mom's side of the family out this way, and here in Wyoming. But I mean, we both just wanted to change of scenery from Texas, like, uh, yeah, it just seemed like a good move. And, like I had been hearing of a lot of fighters. Like I really started hearing a lot of fighters coming out of Denver. Like I started paying attention to it in 2013. And then 2015, and I did a little bit of training out here in Denver. And I went home and I looked at, my wife, and I was just like, hey, like, this is when we were still just like, well, I think maybe we're like a year and a half in our relationship, 2 years, if that. And I was like, hey, it's like, I'm moving to Denver next year. She's like, all right, cool. She said, I guess we're moving to Denver next year. And we packed up and we came out here, man.
Man, talk about a ride or die.
I told you she's the shit, man. I told you.
She is the shit. She is the shit. I don't even know this woman, but the support that she's got for you, don't get no better than that, man. Don't get no better than that.
Right, right.
That's dope. So why Elevation fight team in specific?
They just have more big names.
Well, and it's not just the namesake. It can't just be the namesake because, yes, these fighters are all names. Magny, Gaethje, Sandhagen. But look at their careers. Look at what they've done. They're names because of the work that they've put in and the types of fighters that they are. You know what I mean? So I could see if I was a fighter, like, yeah, I would hate to train with Gaethje because I would die. But you know what I mean? I would want to align myself with those fighters that are going to make me a better fighter.
Right, right. Like I had been like, because I was training with Colton Smith, who was on the same season of The Ultimate Fighter as Neil Magny. And, I was talking to him, and I was just like, yeah, man, I'm getting ready to move out to Denver. He's like, all right, cool. He's like, well, I know the wrestling coach, and I know the coach out at Elevation, and I know the coach at Factory X. He's like, I could put in a word for you. He's like, and so he gave my my information over to and got me hooked up with Leister Bowling, who was coaching at the time. And then, yeah, Leister was like, all right, man, here's the training schedule, yada, yada, yada. Just come on in whenever you're ready. And I literally got my ass handed. And so I was like, all right, cool. I remember pulling up to the big Muscle Farm factory because that's when we were training at Muscle Farm. And I remember just sitting out in my car for like 10 minutes just looking at everything. I was like, oh, shit, this is really about to go down. And then, yeah, I just went there and just kept getting my ass beat for weeks and weeks and weeks. And I just kept showing up because, I mean, how the hell was I supposed to just, get my ass kicked one day and then just go home and then be like, you know what, like, yeah, it's a little bit too hard there. So like that was a thing that really like drove me, like, like, as well. Matt Brown was on the team at the time. TJ Dillashaw was on the team at the time. So Brandon Thatch was there at the time. And yeah, man, I just kept going in there and getting my ass kicked and kept getting my ass kicked and kept taking ass whoopings. But, then you're able to give a couple, but then you start taking a couple more. So I mean, that's always been like the nice thing is like, yeah, man, like, don't get me wrong, I still take some ass whoopings, but there's days where I can give some ass whoopings too. So I always know I'm in the right room. If I'm just giving out ass whoopings, then I obviously didn't need to be there. But the fact that I took a bunch of ass whoopings when I first moved here is what kept driving me to, like I said, like, how am I going to just go home and be like, yeah, it's way too hard there. It's way too hard there, hon. I need to go somewhere else.
Yeah, you can't do it. You can't do it, especially if you want to get better. You got to
Right.
take licks, man. You got to take them. You're
Right.
not going to get better. Like you said, if you're the best man in the room, you're a big fish in a small pond.
Right. Right.
When there's a whole fucking ocean out there, you know what I mean, of bigger fish that can whoop your, big fish ass, you know what I mean? So I don't know why we're stuck on fish, but besides the point, I think that was a good call. I think going to that gym specifically, like I said, I could see why. I could definitely see why. There's some fucking savages over there. And you know what that makes you? It makes you a fucking savage.
Right. Right. I'll take it.
That's it. That's it.
You,
All right. What's that?
I said you said it, not me.
Hey, well, I fucking meant it, okay?
There we
All
go.
right. So check this out. Not one guest has gotten by without answering this question. And I think you're going to impress me with your answer. Okay. So after you get the W, they strap it on, you throw it over your shoulder, you do the fucking post-fight interview, raise your hand, I'm victorious. Well, after that, you got to eat. Everybody has a post-fight victory meal. Now, it doesn't have to be right after the event, but what is the celebratory meal for your title defense?
Dude, I love cookies and milk.
Now, what kind?
Chocolate chip. Chocolate
Okay.
chip. I used to be like a double stuffed Oreo person, but when I moved to Denver, I got introduced to this place called Insomnia Cookies. Yeah,
Okay.
they
Keep
deliver
talking.
they deliver cookies. They got all these different flavors. They got like the double chocolate chunk. Those are my favorite. They're open up till like 3 o'clock in the morning. I used to live in delivery range, so that used to be a problem for me, like after fights, because like you're still like riding high after a fight, and you wake up at like 1 o'clock in the morning, and then you're like, oh shit, I can get me some cookies and milk. So then you order like that nice half dozen or that dozen, depending on how you're feeling. You leave the note for them to text you when they're outside, so they don't bark and wake up the dog and the lady. And then, sure enough, she would walk out and see me just smashing on cookies and milk at like 2 o'clock in the morning, looking like a complete fat ass. But yeah,
See, now that's impressive. That you didn't just go get cookies and milk, but you got that shit delivered.
yeah, that was the thing that blew my mind.
Now, you see, this is what blows my mind, right? As a kid, you had to have your parents go to the store and buy that stuff, and then you had to have permission to have milk and cookies. It had to be a special occasion or, a special dessert. I grew up poor, so we didn't have cookies and milk all the time. But you know what I mean? And now I could just, hello, yeah, bring me some milk and some fucking cookies right now. You know what I mean? That's, man, what what a wonderful thing. What a wonderful,
I
very great time to be alive, my man. Well, I said you would impress me. That was impressive. That was I've had, desserts and cookies and all that, but it's never delivered. It's never delivered. So I am thoroughly impressed, and I am a very, very big fan of cookies, especially Girl Scouts, because I have two girls.
okay,
Okay. And my wife, she runs their troop. And so
okay,
cookie season, I mean, they obliterate their goals. But daddy helps because I'll buy, fucking 10, 20 of them. I don't care. You know what I mean? But then I'll, kind of save them a little bit. So I have them for the rest of the year. So that, after cookie season, people be like, what you doing? I'm eating some do-si-dos. What about you?
there
You know
you
what I'm
go,
saying?
there you
Yeah.
go.
So, yeah, as a matter of fact, the other night we smashed a box of do-si-dos, me and my wife.
All right, I ain't mad at it.
Hey, well, you can't be. This is fucking awesome. And technically, uh, my kid delivered them to me though, but we had to go pick them up to begin with. So it's not really as cool as your story, but pretty close, pretty close. Well, my man, again, thank you for giving me some time, and you'll have to send me a link to this place because I need to find out if they're local here as well, or if there's something like that. Okay, so I'd love to just 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm gonna get me some cookies. You know what I'm saying? So I'm down. But thank you for the time. Again, we said June 2019.
On Father's Day, I'll be fighting on
Okay.
Father's.
Well, I'm commentating for my promotion on Father's Day. So
Okay.
I'll have to hit Fight Pass the following day, which I'm off. So I get to do it, no problem. So on Father's Day, on the 20th, that's going to be on Fight Pass because that's where Fury's at.
Right.
And there's no top billing but you, my man, correct?
Right.
So we on top already. We already there. The cookies are almost ready. Okay,
They're
the cookies.
almost.
That's it, buddy. That's it. So June 20th, Fury FC 47, your main event here. This is the champ you'll be defending. So I'd like to give you as much time as you'd like to thank training partners, friends, coaches, management team. Go ahead and take the floor.
First, I'd like to thank my management, Top Shelf, Chris Lopez. You know, that's my dog. A lot of people weren't willing to believe in him. I believed in him, and he's showing me his worth. I'd like to thank all my coaches and training partners at Elevation Fight Team, my sponsors, you know, that have been helping me fund this camp and helping me get ready. But most importantly, I have to thank my wife. Gotta thank my wife, man.
You got it.
Yeah. Dude, she puts up with a lot of shit.
Especially in this game.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not a fighter, and it's ridiculous. I can only imagine if I was still fighting. Jesus Christ. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so most importantly, I thank her too.
Well, my man, I might, suggest showing this to her. You might get some extra cookies. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm sure you do just fine. But yeah, dude, thanks. I'm fucking stoked. Like I said, I'm working that night, so I'll catch it the morning following. And shit, I'll just send the congratulations, champ. After I'm done with my fights, I won't even need to see him because I know you're gonna pull out the W. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate that.
10 seconds at a time, my man. 10 seconds at a time.
Thank you.
All right. So thank you for coming on. This was a blast. I had a lot of fun. I need to have you on again, sir.
All right. Yeah, that's no problem. That's no issue.
All right. Well, safe travels to the scale first because that's the first fight. And then the next night, we just have fun. All right. Go defend that title.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. We'll talk soon.
Hey, have a good one.
Hey, you too.